There's been a lot of talk recently about connected systems or even common data environments and terms like that. I wanted to jump on real quick and talk about what that really means to Project Team and how our model is different than some of those other legacy solutions. To start off, I'm at the RFI log view, just one of the different tools that you have in the platform. And I can see on the left-hand side is my user, Josh Whitmer, working for Project Team on a project called my Eastview Library Expansion Project. On the right side, I have my subcontractor, Bolt Electric. You can see also on the Eastview Library Expansion Project. You do see that they have contributor access, meaning that they're joined in here as not a full user, but just kind of a subcontractor to me. And they're going to work on some of the same core data. I will, in a little bit, upgrade the user and show some of the advantages of that. But we'll start here as a full user on the left and a contributor on the right. You can see looking at these views, my user has lots of RFIs, okay? More than at least Lauren from her view. Lauren on the right-hand side has those 4 RFIs. If I go in here and click into any of these, let's say confirmation of utility conflict locations, my user has access, Lauren does not. Even though we're on the same exact project, our access is a little bit different based on who's been shared that information. If I click into this view here, I see all of the information about this RFI number 25 utility conflict locations. Again, Lauren doesn't have access to it. However, I can share to Lauren. So I'm going to go ahead and say share, and I get this window that pops up allowing me to share to groups or individual users. For now, I'm going to say Bolt Electric, and if I check on this, I see Lauren is part of the company called Bolt Electric, and I'll say share. When I do that, it sends an email notification to Lauren, meaning that she has a new RFI available in her project. I'm going to go ahead and refresh her screen, and now you see that RFI number 25 is in Lauren's RFI group. Okay, so she has access to that RFI number 25 now. The other really cool thing is if she clicks on that confirmation of utility conflict RFI, you can see what she has access to versus what I have access to. So she has an RFI number, a title, a question, an issue date, and an answer, and that's it. My user has RFI number, subcontractor RFI reference, priority, title, question, issue date, answered, issued by, due date, assigned to, closed, cost impact, schedule impact. So a lot more information that my user has access to than Lauren, and that's okay. We're still collaborating on the same core information, but our views are a little bit different based on what we have access to. So everything in Project Team is controlled by field level access and access to the actual records. What I'm going to do now is I want to upgrade Lauren so that she has full access to the system, and she can even create her own customizations that don't necessarily affect me, but allows her to manage business in the way that she needs to as well. So let me do a quick upgrade for Lauren, and I'm back as Lauren, and you can see that contributor banner has been removed from the top list up there. So Lauren is upgraded now. What that means is Lauren can now configure Project Team to manage her own business outside of who she's connected to. So Josh and Lauren are both connected on the same project. Lauren can go in now and manage the information that she needs to manage her business and doesn't have to muck up what Josh is doing on the left-hand side. So, for example, I can go in here, or Lauren can go in here and say customize, assuming she's a project administrator for her organization, and say customize. Then she can say new, and she can add all kinds of fields to manage the RFIs the way that she needs to manage it on this project. Okay, so for example, she might go in here and say she wants to add an internal notes field that's just related to how she manages these RFIs. So I'm going to say internal notes, and I'll put some help text in here and say this is used for Bolt Electric notes only. Okay. Do I want to make a default value? Do I want to make it required? No for now. I'll say next. Do I want to give anybody else access? Maybe yes. Everybody from my organization or Lauren's have read-write access, Bolt Electric, but nobody else. So I'll say save. The other thing that I can do is say new again. So I can add as many fields as I want to manage information for Lauren the way that she needs to. She might also have some kind of cost impact or whatever it might be. So I'm going to go down here and add like a currency field. And I'm going to say the Bolt electric cost impact. Okay, so she's managing information that's relative to her, not necessarily the way that Josh needs to manage it. Okay, so I'll say next. Again, I'll give my organization, Bolt Electric, access to that and say save. Okay, if I go back to the view now, I could reorder those fields and make it look really nice for me. But if I go to that same RFI now, the confirmation of utility conflict, you can see here that we're looking at the same data, confirmation of utility conflict. However, our fields are different. Lauren is managing internal notes, and we put that help text in there, and she also has that Bolt Electric cost impact. Josh has potential cost impact, scheduled days, and those are not connected. They're just over there. That's how he's managing the project. The main data, RFI title, subject, RFI number, that's connected. These other things are managed by their own organizations. So I can go in here and say, let's say as Lauren, I'm going to put an answer in here and say, this is the answer. I'll put in some internal notes and say there was an issue with the design, can't happen again, need to double check next time, whatever I want to say there. And then the cost impact is $2,500 to her organization, and I can save that. So now Lauren has made edits to the form. If I go down to the activity history here, you can see the last thing that happened was Lauren edited the answer, internal notes, and the Bolt Electric cost impact fields, okay, the things that we just did. If I refresh Josh's screen here, or maybe I go back out and come back in, you can see here that an answer has been added by Lauren. Internal notes and Bolt Electric cost fields are not anywhere to be found because those were things that Lauren was managing for her unique business processes. If I even go down to the activity here, I can see Lauren edited the answer field. So the thing that I could see, it does not tell me anything that she did that might be specific to her organization. So we're collaborating and sharing core information, but everything else that might be unique to each individual stakeholder's way that they do business is still just managed by them. Okay, so we have this single source of truth on that core data, but we're still managing things in our own way, which completely eliminates Lauren or myself having to manage things outside in a separate system where I'm just copying and paste pieces of information to the core system. No, Project Team becomes the core system where everybody is collaborating on the same information. It is all real time in this truly common data environment view. I can even, as Josh, go in here, go back to the view here, and I can say, wait a second, what does Lauren have access to? So I can say view shared with. I can search for Lauren here, say view, and I can see here she does have access to this confirmation of utility conflict, not RFI 219 or 312 or 04, but the things that are grayed out are things that she doesn't have access to. So we're sharing some of the information that might be important for both of us, but we're also keeping information separate for things that don't really matter to those other organizations. Okay, so Project Team's unique collaboration model really helps organizations connect on projects, share common information between projects, but also, and most importantly, still allows each organization to manage the project in the way that they need to, that makes the most sense for them to run and be successful. Thank you.